Hey, Gemini. Thanks for stopping in to get your reading. I'm Madeleine, if we haven't met before. And if you're back, hi. So we're living in crazy times. Hey, Gemini. We're just going to go with it, man. There's nothing else to do but to go with it. I'm very interested to see what's in your cards. But before we even get into the cards that I've shuffled for you, I've got a little channeled message for you from Spirit via song. This is a song by an artist I love, very air sign energy. Her name is Regina Spector. And the name of the song that I got coming through for you when I sat down and started meditating on your stuff was, I believe it's just called Edit. And the hook, the repeated refrain is, you can write, but you can't edit. You can write, but you can't edit. It's going to be really important to edit things this month. This is of course a general reading, Gemini, so this is going to be different for everybody. Some of you are literally writers and it's like, I've got to edit this, like I've just been kind of going, now it's time to edit. For others of you it's like, no, I'm not a writer, but I might need to edit my wardrobe. I might need to edit my fucking diet. You know what I'm saying? What is it that you need to pick through, sort through, and be like, this doesn't really need to be here, or you know what, I really liked this, but it doesn't really go. Like, let me take it out. Maybe I need to just put it elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But there's a little bit of like pruning the plant to keep the whole thing healthy. Lose a few branches, the whole thing flourishes. You feel me? Let's get into your cards. Let's see what Spirit wants to tell you about April. Where you are, where you're headed, and how best to get there. Damn! It's a good damn. You'll see the cards in just a second. They'll pop up. There have already been, wow, a few cards that have been, yes. Ha! Wow. Sorry, I got really, because if there's a card for editing. Okay, interesting. God, okay, I love it. Listen, Gemini, it's looking pretty good, especially considering the circumstances. Now, I do feel that we have a reference to the current circumstances right here in that Five of Cups. We're going to come right to it because so much of your reading is really beautiful. So we're going to talk about all the beautiful stuff. Five of Cups is straight up a card of loss, of grief, of crying over spilled milk. Not in that the thing that you're crying over is silly or trivial or just spilled milk, but in the sense that the milk is spilled. And you don't spill milk on the floor and then go trying to scoop the milk back into the glass and drink it. Not the move. Spirit wants to tell you that you have, look, like plenty. You have plenty to enjoy and love and pay attention to and cultivate. Because where our attention goes, energy flows, as they say. And the Five of Cups is a card that warns us not to spend too much time looking at what isn't going right or what we've lost. Now, I want to make a disclaimer here. I am not the kind of reader. Okay, look, Gemini, I'm just going to share with you one of the things that annoys me the most in like the spiritual community or whatever is people who say things like, good vibes only. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that sounds spiritually bypassy as fuck. That sounds also just like bullshit. Like, good luck to those of you who want good vibes only. I don't know what you're doing, but the bad vibes and the bad times and the friction in life, we need friction to create traction. The things that we go through that force us to lift ourselves up, to hold up other people in our lives because they're going through something tough and they've lost something, those are the moments that make us better and stronger and more deeply compassionate, or they're the things that we lose ourselves in. In tarot, the fives, I think of them like tests. It's conflict. It's what's on the other side of this? What's the point? What are we trying to get to? And Five of Cups, you can get lost. You can lose yourself in grief, in negativity for some people, like everything's going wrong, nothing ever works out for me, etc. It's easier for me to look at what's not working than to turn and look at the two full cups that I'm not looking at right at this moment. Okay? And Spirit is not judging you, and neither am I, Gemini. These are hard fucking times. Some of you may be doing some very legitimate grieving, whether it's loss of job, a loss of a person, a loss of some kind of lifestyle. And what you are left with is 2 of those 5 cups. So there is a loss, you know, so I want to acknowledge that. However, looking at the rest of your cards, what you lose has nothing in comparison with what you stand to gain by sharing what you do have. And let's come to the center. You have the 6 of Cups. So again, it's like, yes, I've lost 3, but I have 6. I'm going to be more than fine. The 6 of Cups is a card of innocence, of fun, and of connection. It's also a card of children. So some of you may be, well, spending a lot more time with your children right now if you've got them, because you may be at home and having to do that. But there is something, whether it involves children or not, there is something very fun and childlike and light about what's going on in your relationships right now. Having a little more fun. What I'm hearing is putting yourself out there a little bit more. Some of you might be like, well, there was never a better time to like start my Instagram TV show or my channel or my podcast or to complete this course or complete this study. Because I'm getting the sense with this World card crossing that 6 of Cups, there's a sense of great achievement and completion and almost like a graduation. Like, like I get it now. Like that's that very, I'm floating way up here and my higher self can see exactly why I had to go through this and learn this and go through that. And so some of you may get a really fantastic perspective from going through this 5 of Cups moment, even though it's really difficult. It forces you to ask yourself, what really matters to me? It forces yourself to edit your desires and your effort and be like, and this is interesting because this message has come through. Some of you might have like Taurus or Aries placements. Getting really clear about what you prioritize in life, what really matters to you, and then do your habits and like structures and timing. Does that reflect those priorities? Or is what you're doing, do they reflect a totally different set of priorities? And there's no judgment here. This is just getting honest with ourselves and being like, when I look at this plant over here, you know, like it's growing a lot of fruit. It's going really well. Has it been worth my time and effort, this part of my life and what has come out of it? And this one over here, like how much is it growing? And do I really like it? Is the time I'm putting it into, is it yielding the pentacles, the money, the results, the whatever that I want it to? And if it's not, how can I edit? How can I adjust? How can I ensure that there's a good flow? Which is another aspect of this 6 of Cups. I'm feeling that there is somebody, some of you, this is like your spouse or your partner, because I do feel like a very strong, this kind of energy where it's like we're together. So it's very possible, these are general readings, of course, Gemini, so you know, if this was one-on-one, it would be a lot easier to zero in and laser focus and say who this is for you. But you show up in your future as King of Swords. Now, swords are the air element. This is unmistakably you feeling like the master of your craft, the top of your game, feeling like logical, feeling smart, feeling fast, and feeling like you're making good decisions. Now, I fucking love to see this. When Spirit was coming in with that Regina Spektor song, you can write, but you can't edit. Guess who can write and edit like a motherfucker? It's the King of Swords. I know what I want and I know how to get it. And the other thing about the King of Swords that matches so well with the rest of what Spirit has been saying is that he is honest. Honest. First with himself and with everybody else. So if he sees himself doing a little bit of a 5 of Cups moment, the King of Swords is not going to allow himself to stay in this situation for very long. Like, okay, that cup, those spilled over, confirmed, that is gone. Then he turns around and looks at these and says, what do I do with this? What do I do with what remains? Now what? If this has been edited out of my life with or without my permission, now what do I do? what do I do with the rest of what I have? Because I've got to be smart about this. Smart. You have someone that you're working with that is like a king in their own right as well. And again, for some of you, I do feel that this is like your spouse, and you're very different people. The way that you think, the way that you operate is very different, but it's also very complementary. Heaven and earth, right? Swords and pentacles. There's a solidness to this other person that helps like give you a nice healthy boundary. It just feels that way. Like this is a person you can really depend on. This is somebody that would probably be a very good person to take your question of like, what maybe should I be editing out of my life or changing, or how do you see the way that I'm handling my money or my skills or whatever. My pentacles, right? All things earthly. Some of you might be, whether you do this formally or just like you go to like a friend or somebody like that, I'm feeling that some of you get together with this Queen of Pentacles, who I see as somebody completely different. This is somebody that I feel like you see in private. I don't know why I'm feeling that, Gemini. I never know why Spirit comes through the way they do. But when they say that, I feel like that could mean literally this is someone that you maybe go to like a therapist, where it's like, this is confidential. This doesn't go out to anybody else. But this could also be a really good friend. This could also be somebody in the spiritual like community that you still have that same feeling of confidentiality, but this person is gonna like look at you and help you, nurture you, help you cultivate those pentacles. So some of you, it could even be something like, I'm gonna get like a business coach or a life coach or something like that, because I want someone to help me put the pieces together in a better way. And that's going to be a big upgrade for you. So if you're wondering or worrying, like that, whether like maybe working with somebody or getting like a sounding board in whatever way, again, if what you're like is like, well, I want to work on my mental health, or I want to work on my business, or I want to work on whatever, you may really benefit from getting somebody to directly like engage with about that. And again, it could be formal like that, where you're paying someone. Could be informal, where you have another friend who like does something completely different from what you do, but you're both working on something. So it's like, hey, could you look at my thing, and with your completely different perspective, could you just like look at it and tell me like what you would edit, how you would change it, how you see it. You benefit from bringing in more than one like head, essentially. Like, you know, 2 or 3 heads are better than one. You should know that, Gemini. You're the twins. Yeah, Spirit just drew my attention to the fact that it's like the Ace of Swords is sitting in the past, an idea, a brilliant idea, but just an idea. Like it would need cultivating, it would need editing, it would need improving. And then the future, from the Ace of Swords all the way to the King. Are you like, I want to publish this, I want to broadcast this, I want this to go worldwide, the world. That's what I'm feeling. That I don't want you to ignore some idea that's like, this is a really good idea, or this is a really good invention, or this is a really good thought or plan. You can take it all the way if you write and edit. And if you bring somebody in that might be able to have a different pair of eyes and look at your thing and edit the way that they would edit, getting their input, allowing them to help cultivate your skills. That's what I'm hearing about this Queen of Pentacles. And you may have heard me say it if you've been here before, Gemini, but if you haven't, I think it's really important to say now. Queen and King has nothing to do with gender or sex. You could be anywhere, identify anywhere on the spectrum. It's everything to do with personality type and the things that they're interested in. And queens tend to be cultivators. The Queen of Pentacles especially is the kind of person who likes to like look at your life and be like, well, you know what I would do? You know what I mean? Like bonus points, this person might be Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Where it's like they just look at the way you have things arranged and they go, well, if you're asking me, and they like change everything. And then you go, well, damn, thank you. Like now I have this meal plan, or now I have this work schedule, or now I have this like my money plan, my budget sorted out. You feel me? Who is the Queen of Pentacles in your life that like wants to see you succeed and is very available for like that one-on-one, maybe even like private time? Get together with this queen. There's a lot of movement possible right now. Gemini, you like things to move fast. Things will move fast if you edit. Eight of Wands is clearing the roads. I feel like some of you are definitely like, I'm publishing this book, or I'm going on tour at some point. Like I'm making plans, long-term plans. And maybe some of you are even like, I've got cabin fever, I'm already planning my next trips. That's what I'm kind of feeling. Go for it, please. Like, the card sitting in the potential position is the Sun. Positivity, clarity, feeling like I get it. I understand exactly what I need to do. I understand exactly where I'm going. Sorry, I had to do that. I understand exactly what I'm doing. I understand exactly where I'm going. And I feel great about it. I feel excited. I feel sure. Don't be afraid to make a change to the type of work that you do or the way that you do that work. That's what I'm feeling. The way that you spend time, money, resources, your personal reserves. I want to encourage you to be a thought leader. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. If you have certain projects, ideas that you've put in a drawer up until now, it might be that life is putting you in a position to edit that old manuscript, to finally think about posting all those things that you recorded or wrote. Might be time to step into your mastery, Gemini. What would make you feel like a king of swords, the master of that mental and like I even want to say creative realm, because it feels like this is your brainchild, right? So that's a creative thing, whether it's book, whether it's the way that you've done your career, even if you are something like a doctor or a teacher and it's all very prescriptive. It's like, yeah, but how do I be the best of that? Feel me? That is worth getting together with the Pentacles people in your life and saying, what do you think about the way that I handle my time? What do you think about the way I handle my money? What do you think about this piece of work that I've done? Would you please give me your raw constructive criticism? And this is what Spirit is saying is like, the Pentacles people are builders. So these are the right people to go to for constructive criticism. Have a little fun. Get a little extra creative. Be a little bit childlike. That's when you write, and then when you step into King of Swords mode, that's when you edit. Okay? So stay loose and fun and childlike and creative. And then once you've had your flow, go back in and edit a little bit of what you're doing. See how it works. I also really feel that this is a good time for you to step into the spotlight and share what it is that you do and love and care about. Whether that looks like putting things on social media, like just putting up, an Instagram post or a story or whatever of like what you're doing behind the scenes. Or if that means putting up a book that you wrote on Amazon and offer, like self-publishing something or self-broadcasting something. I feel like you are stepping into the spotlight this month, and that is a good place for you to be. Whether the spotlight, even for some people, it's like, oh, I'm not ready for the big audience, but I am ready to like show it to those Pentacles people, and I haven't shown it to anybody. So for me, that is a big sun the world moment, right? Like nobody has seen this and I've been working on it for years. Now I'm going to show it to this person or tell somebody about this idea and get their input. That serves you. That makes things more clear. And you are going to come out of this feeling so strong and so capable. So please trust yourself as you move through what are difficult times, where we really do have to look at how everything is going in our life and get really real about what's working, what's not working, what we can and cannot in myriad ways afford. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sometimes that's financial. I'm not really seeing financial struggle here. It's actually, if anything, with all these Pentacles people, it's kind of the opposite. But that may be the case because that is just the nature of what's going on right now. But the growth potential here is tremendous. Ask yourself how much time you can afford to spend on your creative endeavors, on yourself, and how willing you are to put some of that time into getting your Ace of Swords idea coached all the way to the publishing, the broadcasting, the worldwide type of moment. What are you working on, Gemini? This looks pretty like big. Looks like you might be trying to serve like the whole world or a whole like large community with this, and I'm very curious. Spirit just said 11th house. Some of you should check your chart and you'll see what's going on in your 11th house right now, okay? A little bit of personal astrologer advice on the side. I hope this is helpful, Gemini. I hope that the time and energy that you have spent here pays for itself exponentially. I really, really hope that this helps you have a better life and have just even a little bit more fun in April. And I want to say thank you for any comments, any likes, the subscribes, any especially sharing that you do with your friends. Really means a lot, and it really helps the channel, helps me get the message out to more people, which is my goal to, you know, light up the world as much as possible. Help us all find the best of ourselves and shine for others. All right, Gemini, I'm getting hokey, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for being here, Gemini. Sending you and your loved ones lots of love, good health. Stay home, stay healthy, take care of yourself. Much love to you, Gemini. And if I don't see you in a reading before then I will see you in May. Bye, Gemini.